I'm Megan Robinson, joined now by the athletic director for Sacramento State University, Mark Orr. Although, Mark, you are not here as an AD today, you are here as a representative from the FCS playoff committee. You had the first poll released last week, the top 10, I should say. What are some of the criteria that were used to discuss who should be in the in-season top 10?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think first, the Big Sky Conference is one of the strongest football conferences in the FCS. So certainly the quality of competition is a criteria, and the strength of schedule is something that we look at very, very closely in analyzing all the different metrics that are out there to determine the top 10 as we revealed last week. Very, very close, very competitive. A lot of terrific teams across the country and certainly within the Big Sky Conference.
What is the protocol for the committee when members are discussing their partner schools within their own conference?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think there's a difference between if you're discussing your own school. Unfortunately for Sac State this year, we're not having as good a season. But if we were, I would be recused from that conversation discussing my own school. Within our conference, I think I'm helpful. I've seen the Big Sky teams play. I've seen them in person, and I think that adds to the discussion for the committee to have an athletic director from a conference that has seen the teams play and more familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of those programs. The Big Sky having four teams in the initial top 10 and a strong conference top to bottom. I think my voice and my input is very well respected within the committee room.
One of the changes this year to the playoffs is that the top 16 teams will be seeded. Why is this important to the overall playoff picture?
I think it's really important. This is my first year to the committee, so I wasn't part of the initial discussion to seed the top 16. But I think it adds integrity to the 2014 bracket. It lessens the regionality of the field, so you get a truer seeding and ranking. I think the most deserving teams get an advantage, obviously being a seeded team versus being an unseeded team. So being able to seed the top 16, I think rewards the student athletes and the teams that deserve it.
How many more times will the committee meet before the official selection Sunday?
We're going to be meeting several times. We meet multiple times during the week. Obviously we'll have the in-person meetings on the Friday and Saturday prior to the selections being announced. There are several Zoom calls and virtual calls throughout the weeks leading up to it. And it's an exciting time. I'm certainly privileged to be a part of it. It's a lot of work ahead, but it's a very important work. And we understand the commitment it takes from us for all those student athletes out there and coaches out there that are working hard and giving everything they got to be in what I think is one of the best NCAA postseason events in all of college sports.